Mhm. Just reading First Samuel 21. Yes. Now, there was this big problem. Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan. He said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? Now answered Saul his father and said, Wherefore shall he be slain? What hath he done? Yeah. And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. Well, it came to pass in the morning in 1 Samuel 20, 35, that Jonathan went out to the field at the time appointed with David and a little lad with him. And he said unto his lad, Run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. Jonathan cried after that and said, Is not the arrow beyond thee? Gathering came to his master, and the lad knew not anything, only Jonathan. And David knew the matter. Now, it looked like David had really upset Saul. And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord, saying, The Lord be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever. The road departed, and Jonathan went into the city. Now, in chapter 21, verse 10, And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish, the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, Is not this David the king of the land? Did they not sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s? And David laid up these words in his heart, and was sore afraid of Achish the king of Gath. And he changed his behavior before them, and feigned himself mad in their hands, and scrabbled on the doors of the gate, and let his spittle fall down upon his beard. Then said Achish unto his servants, Lo, ye see the man is mad. Poach, he's crazy. He's delusional. He's absolutely schizophrenic and bipolar. He has a battered spouse syndrome. Wherefore then have ye brought him to me? Have I need of mad men that ye have brought this fellow to play the mad man in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? But then David departed. Now, when you've been pursued, yes, for 7 years, 6 months, and 2 days, it seems that law enforcement really doesn't like the idea of going to prison. David had played the part of being crazy without being crazy. Now, it turns out, that somebody wanted to kill David for approximately 12 years. Yes. I think it did affect his actual royalty. Nothing like being deprived the equal protections of the law. Yes. And then you decided, uh oh, Joab, behold, the sun has risen against that. You know, I just wanted you to understand something. These laws that you refuse to enforce because of your gender bias, your color of law violations, your hate crime, and your treason, they are not at your discretion. I've been informing you that my right to the protections under the Washington Domestic Violence Protection Act is being violated. And you can just say the guy's crazy. I can play the part of being crazy. See, actual crazy people can't be sane. But sane people can learn. Because the very law is open to judicial interpretation, men do not get the chance to enjoy the law's protection. Now, for example, in the case related to the introduction of this comment, the commissioner denied the husband domestic violence protection. But instead, the husband was subjected to a protection order against him by a mutual restraining order. Oops. Now, let's say the court commissioner, Brent Baston, decided to continue to issue protection orders, right, where there was no jurisdiction of law, and your thought was, well, we don't have to protect the rights. Now, look at here. Nevertheless, in analyzing the ability of such men to seek protection, Scott states, the system won't let women say they are not victims. Oh, that would be like issuing a protection order where the petitioner doesn't sign it because you, the court commissioner, yes, you, the domestic violence advocate, have decided that my wife will be a victim of domestic violence because you didn't require her signature. The man was denied protection order because the judge rejected the evidence of police documentation of a baseball bat assault. Furthermore, the wife failed to produce evidence of any violent acts on the part of the husband. The only thing that my wife ever produced was an arrest that took place on Guam. And that arrest was expunged in 2012. Now, you won't acknowledge a woman's right to not be a victim? Proof falls on them. When men claim to be the victim in a domestic violence situation, the burden of proof falls on the male. The system is set up so that, in Scott's view, there's no excuse for domestic violence unless the woman does it. Now, this proof that has fallen on myself as the male, you would have thought that when you're going to prison. Now, easy way, hard way. You, the police department, decided to play this the hard way. And I'm going to go to court in approximately 5 minutes. Right. Going to get on the bus. Going to go to Port Townsend. Yes. When you have played the hard way, now you could have done it the easy way. About 3 years ago when I emailed all 3 police departments, the petitioner did not sign the protection order. You as a court do not have the judicial discretion to allow for the individual that said they were the victim of domestic violence to be a victim of domestic violence for 10 years. But Brent Baston, right now, when you issue a protection order without the signature of a petitioner, that was the alleged victim of domestic violence, it's not that you just violated my right to have my sons. You said she's going to be a victim for 10 years without her acknowledgement, without her receiving a receipt of it. Now you, the court, decided to punish me, the man, for a non-existent domestic violence and child abuse. And then you decided to victimize the alleged victim, the petitioner, for 10 fucking years, you piece of shit. Now, I know you decided to victimize the petitioner and the minors named for 10 years. 10 years of victimization. I know that you're not going to enforce the law today, and you want me admitted into a mental institution? Because you just cannot admit that when you issue a protection order for 10 years, you decided to victimize